Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Made to Think with your host, Ninjam. I have one of my oldest friends from my local area, the wonderful Scott Thomas. He's got a very interesting story to share. Welcome to the podcast, mate.
How you doing? How you doing, lads? You okay, mate?
Yes, mate. Can you just introduce yourself to the listeners, please?
Yeah, Scott Thomas. Unfortunately, big 5-0 now last year.
Wow.
Ex-footballer. Got Phoenix Health and Fitness, and I've had that for 23 years, would you believe, this year?
Yeah, so you own a gym and used to play for my football team, Man City.
Yep.
Always been a bit of a legend in my eyes. I used to see you, I used to get a bit starstruck. When was the first time you actually kicked a ball? Do you remember?
God, yeah, I was only young. Yeah, I was always carrying the ball around as a kid. Even like 2 and 3 year old, I was always knocking the ball. Probably drove my mum and dad mental.
Yeah.
But in the street as well, always carrying it when we were growing up, like, primary school and everything, I always had a ball with me.
Do you remember the person you saw on TV where you were like, right, I want to be like him?
Yeah, I used to, would you believe I was a United fan growing up?
Shit.
Yeah, I was a United season ticket holder at Old Trafford. Yeah. So my dad and my uncle used to sneak us into Old Trafford.
Wow.
He's still got the season ticket, my uncle there, Ed the Red, yeah. So he was Brian Robson, Brian McClare, all that area, and Mark Hughes.
Okay. How do you know you have what it takes to go all the way as a footballer?
I mean, I was always very committed as a kid. Like football was always like my life, basically.
Yeah.
So you know when you're scoring goals and stuff, and I was very competitive. Still am very competitive. Very, very competitive.
Right.
So you've got to have the heart to do something as well.
So you was a goal scorer at school?
Yeah.
Yeah. And did anybody point out like he's got what it takes?
No, you get in man of the matches quite often, and my dad was the manager of the team, and it was Ratcliffe Juniors back in the day, and then Little League Juniors. So he used to get the opposition manager to pick it, because obviously you can't be picking it like his son every time. Like, so I used to get man of the match quite often. He's still got the record of all the games when we were younger, the lads from the village.
Yeah, so I think it takes a dad role model to push you in that direction, right?
He did to a certain degree, but you've got to want it yourself as well. So,
right. What was your first big break then in football?
About 10, 11. A lad it was actually my granddad knew one of the guys who was at Man City at the time. He was only like a caretaker, would you believe, at the time.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that I was playing. There wasn't as many scouts back in the day. So you're talking, God, it was 84, 85. There weren't as many scouts about then. But he got in touch with someone at City. They came down and watched me. And then next minute, I was down at the School of Excellence down at Platt Lane.
Did they tell you there was the scout on the job or not?
No.
Secret, right?
Yeah, and then I got a phone call to come down. Went down to, I was 11-year-old at City then. And we used to train like only once a week at the time down at Platt Lane. Obviously, it's still there, Platt Lane. They still use it.
Were you at the same time as my other mate, Steve Brennan? Were you together in the U team?
Yeah, Stevie B is one of my best mates still. He's married to my cousin now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He lives around the corner.
Shout out to Steve Brennan. I love you. I'll get you on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
Who's the better footballer? You or Steve?
We're different sort of players. Steve's a good player. Steve's a couple of years younger than me.
Steve was a good player.
No, yeah.
Oh, he is.
He's still keeping fit and that. Yeah, he's
Good
still doing
lad.
that, yeah.
Now, how did you end up at Man City then? Big deal, that, man.
Yeah, so at 11, they signed me on a 3-year contract till I was 14.
Yeah.
So I stayed there doing the School of Excellence. And then at 14, they offered me 2-year schoolboy, 2-year YTS, and a year pro. That was at the time, that was 14.
Did you get paid for that?
No, you used to get expenses. I used to love it. You go down, you used to do the trials and stuff. You used to get expenses coming through all the time. Like, that was my little wage at 14, because you couldn't get paid until you was 16, 17.
So how is that difference now? Is it still the School of Excellence at Man City?
No, what they do now.
We'll get into your son.
Yeah.
Your son went through that, right?
Yeah,
Big deal.
But he was
How different is it now compared to back then?
Yeah, completely different.
Is it?
Oh, God, yeah.
The standards are higher.
Yeah, because, obviously, when I was growing up, I was playing against local lads. But when Luca, we went straight to City at 6-year-old, you're playing again. He was at City, and they used to go to tournaments abroad and stuff, and they're playing against the best in the world straight away.
Wow.
And then obviously they're training 4 or 5 times a week. You're picking him up from school. It's hard at first when you're taking him every day.
Right.
You pick him up from school. You're straight from school straight to the training till 7, 8 at night.
So just for example, people who play in the Conference League, right? They're professional footballers.
Yeah.
But what's the difference between the energy levels when you're playing at that level?
Some of the obviously Luke has been at York on loan at York City, and they're a pro club. They're a really good club. They're pro. They're training every day. It's just maybe the fitness levels towards the end of it. And the players, the conference, first division, second division, there's not much difference really. You get it's a similar sort of level. Obviously, when you get to the Championship and the Premier League, technically they're a bit better, but the level is it's all professional level. So
Right.
It's a bit tougher, obviously, physical wise.
Okay, so what was your first game for the first team, Man City? Do you remember?
Yeah. Uwe Rosler was having a fitness test. And I was like the 15th man, so he had 2 subs at the time, so he had 14, and then I was like the spare man basically.
Right.
Before the game, he had a fitness test, didn't pass the fitness test. Right, Scotty, like you're on bench, and I was like, here we go. Oh God, right.
Wow.
Luckily, I got my family tickets.
That was it, Main Road?
No, it was at City Ground, Nottingham Forest.
Ah, okay.
Stan Collingwood playing. It was his last game.
Oh, shit.
Home game for
Yeah,
Nottingham
I
Forest.
remember that, yeah.
So getting beat 1-0 came to 35 minutes ago. Scotty, what going on? Like we need a goal sort of thing. Go on right wing. Who's a left back for Forest? Stuart Pearce.
Wow, that's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
You was up against Stuart Pearce.
Yeah. So first time I was my ability. I was quite a tricky winger. I went past him first time, right. Second time, boom, kicks me up in the air.
Oh no.
But it's all right.
But how does that feel? Like that? I
got a dry mouth.
You don't meet people who've had that experience.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
I mean, you don't
while you're
really
training?
sense the crowd or anything like that. I mean,
Right.
you've got to have confidence in your ability. So you've got to go out and you've got to be a certain amount of cockiness. I was quite cocky, to be fair, in football and
Right.
stuff. I was quite confident. So
Did you impress?
yeah, I
first
did quite
time?
well. Yeah. Radio, like on the radio, and obviously it was screened. He said, "Oh, a great debut for him." He came over to me at the end, Piercy, and said, "Like, well done. Believe it was your debut. Congratulations," sort of thing. So,
Wow.
would you believe that when I listened to it back on the radio? Because they had a big blonde wig at the time. They were all whistling, like, giving all that. I was like, "Oh God."
Did you get a chant? Did you have a chant for you?
No, not that I'm aware
no
of.
chant.
No, not that I'm aware of.
When did you score your first goal at Main Road?
Oh, it had been like the U team and stuff when we was in the U team because you used to play the U team games where obviously played at Main Road and stuff. We had a good youth cup run first year. United beat us in the quarterfinals. 15,000 turned up for it at the time. Like,
Right.
they had to delay the kickoff. Obviously they had like Ben Thornley was their best player at the time. Ben's a good friend still. Beckham, Scholes, Neville.
Oh,
all
wow,
them,
you got to play with all them?
Yeah, all them. Yeah, the same age.
No shit.
Yeah, same age. So yeah, we played against all them.
And who do you think for you was the best City player ever?
I mean, back in the day, Colin Bell was one of my coaches,
Yeah.
but I didn't see him
Wow.
play as much. Yeah, he was a really nice guy. Apparently, Colin, they used to call him Nijinsky. He was one of the best players for City.
Yeah.
You're looking at like King Clancy, obviously the same team.
King Clancy was awesome.
skillful. But then you had some really good pros. You like, you had Terry Phelan, Keith Curl, Gary Flitcroft, all sort of like Peter Reed. There's some really good players. Paul Walsh at the time, Big Quinny.
Would you say that, bit of a weird question this, but people who've come from a poor background, are they more hungry than these rich kids that get pushed through these?
I found that out a little bit in America. I went over to America after we retired, and the guy who was helping out run the club, there was a team over there, under 18s team. Half the team were ghetto kids, and half the team was like really affluent. One of the kids turned up in a helicopter. He was like in Palm Beach, a really affluent area.
Wow.
But the ghetto kids, they were really up for it.
Yeah.
But you did have some like lads who they've been brought up well, or they've had a bit of money. They still, if you've got the hunger still and you love football, you still, doesn't matter how you've been brought up, you just got to have the hunger a little bit more.
Got to have the hunger. Now, you was at the Etihad when Aguero scored that goal,
Yeah,
weren't you?
yeah.
I'm so jealous. Can you describe the feeling? It's got to be the most
I still watch it back
pinnacle
now.
moment in football history still.
Yeah, I still watch it back now and get goosebumps.
Yeah, you're actually in that documentary.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
your big blonde wig.
You can't miss it. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, for the Premier League, unbelievable.
How do you think if that would have happened to you, how would that have like changed you as a person? You reckon?
You've got to keep yourself grounded.
Yeah.
And I try and instill that into Luke as well. Doesn't matter how well you do, you've got to keep yourself grounded. You've still got to thank you if the fan. You've got to be exactly the same person. Just if you obviously getting a bit of money coming in, you've still got to be the same person.
Yeah, just for the listeners, Luke is his kid who's now a professional footballer. We'll get into that in a sec. Who's the greatest footballer of all time and why? For me, Gary Lineker. For English football.
I mean, technically, you've got to look like. I mean, people always go to Ronaldo and Messi and players like that, but you got to look like Ronaldinho. Some of the stuff.
Ronaldinho was fucking unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I love the technical, the skill side of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Messi's more skillful than Ronaldo, but then you look at Ronaldo, some of the stuff he's done, the goals he's scoring.
I've got Adam Guy coming on tomorrow, DJ, and he's a footballer as well. And he used to play that game where they hit the ball on the crossbar.
Yeah.
Ronaldo could do that every time and get it. That's sensational, isn't it?
Yeah. You look at the De Bruyne and the Fodens now; they're technically they can do stuff like that.
Yeah, well, Foden's not really doing it much. He's on
He
Eminem.
scored last night.
He's spending too much time on Eminem. Why did you stop playing football, professional football? What
I
happened?
had an injury towards the season in, I think it was about 95, 96, and the season had finished. It was only a small injury. And instead of doing a close season on my own, Ken Barnes was this chief scout at Man City, and he knew Dennis Violet, who was actually a Busby babe.
Oh,
He was in the Munich air disaster. He
Oh,
was one of the top
shit.
goal scorers for United. He was a manager of a team called Richmond Kickers. And they sent me on loan over there to play for them. Went over there, flying, brilliant, playing absolutely brilliant. We had a game against the Italian 23s national team. They were in the Olympics. So Nesta was marking me. He was the captain, yeah. Buffon was in goal.
What?
Did really well. We got beat in the end. I came off after 60 minutes because we had a game the next night. So Denny said to me, look, I had a bit of a tweak in my arm. He said, look, I can't show favouritism to you, but I'll have to play you for half an hour in this next game the next night. Played the next game, 20 minutes in, centre half, smashed into me, broke my leg in 4 places.
Oh, I remember that. So
Yeah.
that was the end of your career.
So, yeah, I stayed over there because the physio says, you know, but you're coming back. I had a pin put in it in America, stayed there till the contract had ended and came back to City. 2 years I battled.
That's crazy. How different would that recovery be now with
It'd be
modern,
massive.
modern medicine?
Yeah, it'd be massive. And we had 60 pros at City at the time. So
Wow.
you couldn't, we had so many injured players and you wasn't treated the way, I mean, they didn't treat, but you wasn't treated the way I should have been treated. I
Right.
should have been getting every single day. I should have been getting, like, you know, going in doing physio, but I wasn't doing. They didn't have those time.
So at your heyday, how much was you getting paid for your football?
Well, I was lucky. First year at 1991, I got given a pro contract. So we was on YTS, was on £39.50 straight away.
£39
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah. But you can sign pro at 17.
Jesus.
So they took me off it. So I only did three months of YTS.
Wow.
And they give me a good contract. Peter Reid was at the time. He gave me a
Reedy.
decent contract. So he was on, like, I'd say back in 91, just under £1,000 a week. So he was all right.
So compared to now, what
you
would
probably
it be on
like
now?
first contract, probably £5 or £6 a week. I
5 or
suppose.
6
Yeah.
grand.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
amazing. So what happened next after the injury?
So towards the end of it, I was still on loan. I was still on contract to say they kept extending it because obviously they sent me on loan to Brighton. Brian Autumn was at Brighton at the time. He gave me my debut at City. He'd go. So I tried to get back into it. I was miles off. I felt miles off. Didn't feel right. Still now I get pains in the leg.
Wow.
I can't feel down the left side of my bottom of my leg and stuff. So I retired. I retired at 24.
Oh man.
Which was hard at the time because, like, again, my era was the likes of Beckham, Scott, they were all playing for England. And you're like, so it's hard to watch games, really hard. Yeah.
It's funny, like, I'm just having a memory when you used to walk down the street, everybody said, that's the football player, but he's been injured. And I thought, man, that must be fucking
It is,
brutal.
it was hard. So the guy who run the club, who broke my leg for, and he was setting up another club in America. And he said, just come over with us. You want to get away from England? Just come away. So I went and lived in Florida for 9 months.
Yeah, that's what I remember. You were coaching, right? Or...
Yeah, well, just helping him out more than anything. A lot of partying as well.
Okay. What would you do different if you could turn back the clock?
I'd try, like, you'd have to, I mean, if it was now and I was getting the physio and getting the correct treatment, you'd have been back after, I'd have been back after a year. You'd have been doing, I mean, they just sent me to, the gym I own now, they sent me to just said, go to your local gym. I didn't have to go into the main road. They just said, go to your local gym.
Right.
But now you'd be there, you'd be getting like, you know, the best treatment you could receive. So it'd be a lot different.
Okay, now you've remained mostly in Little Lever, Darcy Lever for most of your life. Yeah. I've been around the world now. Yeah. Is there anywhere that you would prefer to live right now, given the chance?
I wouldn't move anywhere just because of Lucas football. And I've got a daughter as well. She told me I've got to mention her because everyone talks about Mia. She's doing really well.
Mia, how you doing, my darling?
She's doing really well. She said everyone talks about football. No one mentions me. She was in the.
What's she doing? What's your daughter doing?
She works. She was an air hostess for a while. She didn't like it, but she's now working at a company in it's a car benefit solution. She's doing well with that.
I tried to apply for Virgin Airlines. They said I wasn't gay enough. Damn you!
Are you sure? I'm lucky enough to my girlfriend now. She's a travel agent and an air hostess.
Right.
So we went away 9 times. We're lucky. She gets, so 9 times last year. So I wouldn't live abroad because of the football side of things. Because Premier League's best in the world.
Right.
That's the reason I wouldn't go and live abroad. And with the kids as well. So.
Right. Awesome. So what did you do after retiring from football completely?
So I just went to the States and just like stayed over there for a while. Came back. I was going to the gym, which I own now, and the guy kept going out all the time, the owner, and he said, well, you just look after the place for a while, just look after it. So I was looking after it, and then after a bit, he said, do you just want to help us out? So I helped him out for 2 years, and he said, do you know anyone who would want to buy it? So I said, yeah, do you know what, I'll be interested. So that came up and I ended up buying him out. So that was in 2002.
So now you own Phoenix Gym, which is in the estate where the Reebok factory used to be.
Yeah, next door.
I want to give a shout out to Paul Lynchford, who's the guy that actually designed Reebok Pump.
Right, okay.
And he's going to get on the podcast. He lives in Boston, right, Paul? And I mentioned that I was from Little Lever, and he's like, oh,
next door.
I used to go and nick the Reebok shoes out of the skip. And we used to use them as squirters.
It's there next door, it is. Yeah,
is it still? Yeah, no way. Yeah. Now, what difficulties did you face initially with that gym? That's a big project.
Obviously I didn't know. I knew the income that was coming in to a certain degree, but I didn't know. So you just had to manage it well and make sure that we're a family-run business. So my dad works for us as well.
Yeah.
Got a couple of friends who work for us. You've just got to manage people coming in. It's very competitive.
Yeah.
You're right. So you've got all these big gyms coming in and they're offering ridiculous prices.
That's
but
right.
we're a family-run business, so we have a connection with all our members as well. Some of the members came in when they were 14, 15, and they're 30 odd now, and I go out drinking with them. They're still young kids coming in now. I let kids come in at under 16. I'd still let them come in, get them off the streets and stuff. So
you think people in villages like Little Lever, we're a small village in a town in a big city, they still cherish that family sort of
course,
business?
100%, yeah.
I love butchers and things, and it's like, where's all the butchers gone? Barons of Beef, are they still going?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
How did you survive the lockdowns as a business owner?
Obviously it was frustrating because you could see the garden centre across the road.
Yeah.
People were allowed in. We were shut, and we're offering people health and fitness. We're trying to encourage them to keep fit.
Yeah.
So I could go in. We ended up cleaning up and painting and stuff. I could still go in and train, obviously, because I'm there. And obviously I love the sun, as you can see with my tan. Obviously it was quite sunny at one point, so I was going out. I could train. I could have a few drinks in the garden. So it wasn't. I mean, obviously we got a few grants, but then later on, we're still suffering now a little bit from it because in January, we shut January, February, March one year. Our busiest time is January, February. So their memberships over the 20 years before we shut, they renew in January. Now they don't renew to April.
Yeah.
So we're still getting people coming, but not as much income coming in till April now.
Now, you now have a child, Lucas. My son's called Luca. Luca, both called Luca. Yeah. He's followed in his father's footsteps. What did you do for him that you couldn't do for yourself?
I think maybe, obviously, at the time, back in the day, I was a twin sister, Zoe. Hello, Zoe. My dad was out, working, he had 3 jobs. So trying to get, if it had been now, trying to get Luca I say 4 or 5 times a week all over the world. They'd been Japan, when they were at City, Japan, America, they went everywhere. You've got to go and do it. Unfortunately, it's hard for some of these parents to take them every day. Obviously, back in the day, it wasn't as intense. It is intense. It's hard. It's only 0.07% make it as a football.
So you don't think a kid could do that without a father role model?
You need someone you need support.
You need that?
Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. Who's the better player, you or your son?
Luke is a better finisher. Definitely. He's unbelievable. He's finishing second to none.
Right. How old is he now?
He's 20 now.
He's 20.
Oh, he's finished.
He only needs 4 years and he's got one over you, hasn't he?
Exactly, yeah. I'm more skillful. I was a bit more tricky and a bit more cockier.
All right.
He's very level-headed.
He's level-headed.
Yeah.
How often do you actually get to play football with your son now that he's a pro?
No, we don't play. No.
Are you allowed to play football?
He probably, but he lives in Leeds anyway, so yeah. When he comes back, he wants to just chill out and stuff.
Yeah. So who's he signed for currently?
He's he's up in the air at the moment. He's still at Leeds on contract to Leeds.
He's got
another year and a half.
What's his full name?
Luca Ty Thomas.
Luca Ty Thomas. Look out for him. Next superstar.
He's going on loan. He's been on loan at York. We think he's going on loan at Halifax this week.
Yeah. So. I was watching him at City. Yeah, he was good. Yeah. How is being a pro footballer now different from your days, would you say?
Social media.
Social media.
Social media, yeah.
Right.
Back in the day, we had nothing. We didn't have Instagram, the Facebook. But they were under the spotlight straight away. But football's very... There's a lot of a lot of people are involved in the money side of it.
Yeah. How restricted is Luca with his social media?
Yeah,
somebody manage that for him, or he's allowed to do it
No, he's doing it himself. You just got to be careful what you're saying. I put something on a couple of months back. Luca had scored 8 goals in 10 games for the 21.
Saw that.
10 goals in 8 games, sorry. And I put something on about, obviously, he's not being shown the recognition he needs, really. So they were promoting other lads.
Right.
God, 81,000 people interacted with it.
That's amazing.
And then some of it was like ridiculous. I was getting slaughtered saying you were a bad parent for putting this on. I didn't say anything bad. And I'm like, what's all this about? Like, I didn't reply, so I just ignored it. But it's social media.
What's Luca's end goal, do you reckon? What's he want to do?
Obviously, he wants to, he's there with professional football now, but he needs to break into the first team,
Right.
and get playing. He's got men's football now. I said he's been at York City. They've been playing men's football. He needs men's football now. He's past the 21s level. Where
So he's not done the first team yet.
he's played first team in pre-season and stuff. Yeah, I said he's been at York as a pro. He scored a couple of goals there. He got his first pro goals. So.
That's amazing. What's been your proudest moment as a father so far for me or for Luca?
Well, I mean, obviously, obviously the mum's about now as well, but I brought them up. Like, obviously the mum was about at the beginning, and then we had differences and stuff, and she's a great mum now, but just bringing them up, they were brilliant. We had to go to school, and I went to all the netball games with me because I went to football with Luke. I had to go to the netball, went to all the school meetings and everything. But they're both good kids. So
does Mia support Luca, or she get a bit?
Yeah. She supports him. Yeah.
That's amazing.
They argue a little bit, but.
How much would you say it costs to help a child achieve their football dreams now? Do you have to put initially some investment in there?
You have to put your initially and your time.
It's
the money
time.
wise, you don't have to, because these days they pay for schooling and stuff. Like, he went to private school, Luke, and they'd paid for that and all.
Right.
So
does that make a big difference on a CV for football?
Yeah. I mean, they make you. You have to get a certain level of you have to be a certain level of intelligence to go to the schooling, because it was St Bede's in Manchester. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Can you share any advice to parents that are listening who wish to get their kids in that kind of?
I just say
field?
you've got to let them. If it's going to happen, you've got to let them do it themselves. You can't be a pushy parent, because there's so many want to be a professional football, and the level. You'll see the difference. And if he went to a professional club, luckily he was elite at 6-year-old.
Yeah.
The difference between just normal school football and local football is massive.
I think it's a really good thing to just reiterate that you don't need to be pushy.
No,
you got to let them
You've
breathe.
got to do it. If they're going to do it, they'll
Good
be
advice.
there.
Yeah,
they've got to be there to do.
Now, aside from owning this gym, which takes up a lot of your time, what else do you commit your time to at the moment?
I've got to keep myself busy. I've got to challenge myself every year.
Yeah.
I like my partying still. I like as a girlfriend. Look at her, like she's obviously going away on holiday and stuff. But each year I try and do something different. So I've done high rocks last year. I've done marathons.
Yeah.
2 Ironmans.
Two
Did Strictly
Ironmans.
Come Dancing.
Oh, you're joking?
Yeah.
I've got to watch that on TV.
Yeah. No, it was like we did it local. Claire, who's local, Claire James. We did it. Me and Claire did it. We won there. We won the rock and roll side of that.
Jesus, you get promoted to Hollyoaks after
Yeah,
that.
yeah, oh god. I did a boxing fight as well, so I've got to do something different every year.
So my next question is, I've just got back from Vietnam, 15 years. Everybody thinks I've just got out of jail or something. It's weird. What are some cool things for me to do around here to keep fit, aside from just going to the
Just
gym?
do something that's going to challenge you.
Right.
I mean, this High Rocks has been a different challenge for me every
What's
year.
High Rocks?
So it's an event where you're doing, it's 8K running, but you've got to do sled push, you've got to do broad jump burpees. It's like, we did it in Madrid, me and the PT at the gym did it.
Yeah.
We did it in Madrid. Just trying to do something different that's going to challenge you.
Yeah.
I need challenges. I'm still chasing the high, unfortunately.
Fortunately, I got into cycling and did a couple of marathons in Vietnam, which is intense heat. You know what I mean? Your tires on your bike are melting.
Burn, yeah, I bet, yeah.
Are you conscious of what you eat?
No, I'm lucky.
You're lucky.
I'm lucky. When I'm at the gym, I don't sit down. I'm stood up. I'm serving people. I'm training. Been in this morning at 6:30, 7:15. But I don't do that all the time. I say I'm lucky. I can eat what I want.
Now, me being away from England for so long, I am seeing so many overweight people here. Yeah. It is a dramatic change in the UK lifestyle. I want to know what's caused such drastic obesity. It is mad.
Yeah, it's lazy. People being lazy.
TV.
Yeah, TV sitting there. You've got the internet. You've got social media again. And people, and it's different. Sometimes you look at a reel and you could be watching reels for an hour. I've done it.
But why are people not conscious? I mean, I remember when we used to go out in Bolton, everybody was dressed up, nice clothes. We were conscious about it.
It's just too easy for people to be stuck in what they're doing and not. It is hard to keep fit. People think because I'm at the gym that I'm going to be keeping fit all the time. But you've got to have the impetus to go and do it. You've got to want to do it.
Right. So it's not cool to get fit anymore in Bolton.
Yeah, it's still but it's. I don't know why. The people just need to change the mentality.
All right. Do you take any vitamins or supplements?
I need to with my joints these days. Yeah, I like cod liver oil and stuff like that. I have the protein side of it, but nothing major. Right.
Okay. For anyone thinking to get fit who doesn't feel like they have the time, it's always about this time thing, right? What words of wisdom would you share with them?
I always say, like, if you don't find the time to get fit, eventually you will find the time to be ill.
Right.
So you've got to make time.
That's excellent. What are the absolute do's and don'ts with these people that start new fitness regimens?
Just don't go too quick too soon. People hammer it for the first week and they blow themselves out. Or they get injured or they're aching.
Yeah.
Just ease into it and just stick to a routine. Routine.
How beneficial is it to have a coach?
It is. Like, we say, DG Fitness at the gym. Dean's good. He does PT and he pushes people.
Yeah.
I'm always open to people coming in and push. I like people if they've got a goal, so they're getting married, or you've got to have maybe a goal as well. Maybe set yourself a 5K. You want to do a 5K.
Right. So you still do PT as well? At your
I
gym?
don't do the PT. I haven't got the patience. So,
don't have the
but
patience.
no, I got the patience. But.
I need a PT.
Come down. I'll put you through it.
What's the benefits of the cold plunge? Because I've seen a lot of people doing that now.
Obviously,
right?
it's good for your muscles after workouts and stuff, but I'm
Right.
not convinced it's always great for your heart, the shock of it.
Yeah, there's this thing about doing it before workouts and doing it after.
A lot,
Anything
again,
to
it's
say?
I bang on about social media. People look at social media and they think, oh, they're doing it. But most of the time, they're only promoting something.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily doing it. It's just what works for you. If you feel something works for you, do it.
So that's another question. Any fitness tips that you know work from personal experience that a lot of people might disagree that doesn't work?
If you want to lose weight, you've got to eat less.
Yeah.
And burn more.
And burn more.
Yeah, it's simple as that. The diet's a big thing.
Yeah.
I don't snack. I'm not a snacker.
Yeah.
I don't particularly eat crisp, and I eat chocolate. Would you believe I get up every night eating chocolate 2
Oh,
3 in the
really?
morning?
Well, you've
I
got
love
these
pieces.
people who do these mad, like, no carb diets, and then they load up on carbs and it all just comes piling back.
exactly.
It's got to be a routine,
Yeah,
right?
you've got to. Yeah, but you've got to just be sensible and keep a balanced diet.
All right. What's the future saying for you now?
Again, just traveling. Love going to keep traveling. We got Philippines in 1st of March.
Oh, cool.
Cousin lives over there. Again, keep pushing with the gym. I say we've been steady. I get a wage. I can still pay my mortgage and stuff. So yeah.
Still paying a mortgage? I thought you was a
Just
football
about.
player.
I know. Yeah.
Luke will pay that
Yeah,
off.
get Luke a pay it.
What's the key to being happy and always maintaining a big smile at you? You've
Positive,
always been a big smiler. How is this possible?
Positive attitude. You've got to have a positive attitude. You've got to enjoy life still as well.
Yeah.
I still like going out. I still like socialising. Yeah, say if you're training, endorphins as well, you've got to train still.
And you hang around with the same people since
same group of
school.
friends,
I just saw that big picture of you.
Yeah, the
I
lads,
think that's really important. I want to finish this just by saying to people, if you've got a beef, if you fell out with somebody, just say, get over it and make up.
Yep.
And it's a big weight off your shoulder.
100%.
What would you change the most about the fitness industry, or what would you like to see improve in the future?
I mean, obviously, it's the more the bills that are coming in now. Instead of we're getting hammered with bills all the time, and try and help us out, try and promote fitness better.
Yeah.
Instead of promoting all these junk foods and stuff like that, help us out with the fitness side of it and help people get fit. Because if you're fitter in your body, you're going to be fitter in your mind.
Right. I've actually found an old video of you in the Chippendales. I'll edit that
God.
into the video later. That's a wrap. Thank you very much, Scott
worries, mate.
Thomas.
Brilliant.
Wicked.
Thank you.
Thank you to come on the podcast.
No worries,
Thank
mate.
you for listening, guys. See you later. Nice.